this lovely Hoover wind tunnel in, also known, aka, as the Hoover Tempo. So these are a machine that has been around for ages and ages and ages. They just stopped making them, I think it was last year. So story on these is that these were originally a model that was made by Hoover when they were owned by Maytag. And then, of course, Maytag sold Hoover to TTI. And TTI continued to make these for quite a while. These were a bestseller for years and years and years, made Hoover a lot of money, you know, they weren't bad machines. They were certainly, oh wow, their brush rolls in backwards. Somebody's been messing around with this. It's missing a screw. Ooh, look at that, tasty. What was I talking about? This distracted me. So story though with these guys, they're not like great machines, but they weren't terrible compared to what Hoover makes today. These seem pretty awesome. To be honest with you, they're kind of a brute force machine. They are loud, they don't filter very well, but they do clean fairly well for a bypass system. So, you know, and again, relatively reliable, particularly the non-power drive units. So not tons of issues with them, mostly related to the brush roll or eventually motor failure. But those were the only two huge deals. And occasionally you'll see a switch go bad. So this customer brought this in needing a belt, which doesn't have a belt on it. Brush roll is in sideways, so in backwards. So obviously they tried to get in there and play around with it, and were not successful in getting this back together. So when we do a belt, we offer a general service, meaning an actual cleaning of the machine, cleaning it all up. If they forego that, our minimum labor charge is what we charge for the belt. So with that being said, we're not going to do any cleaning. I'll just do a general wipe off before I finish the machine. But all this, which we would go in and scrub out in a service, the customer has already declined that work. So we're just going to do a belt, a quick vacuum off, and call it a day. So we got our belt here. The belt number is what we call an 033. They haven't really changed since they first came out, but you can tell by the last three digits which belt part it is. And the 033, as you can see right here, focus, the 033 is indicative of a non-power drive Hoover wind tunnel, not the wind tunnel 2 or 3 or any later iterations, but just the standard non-power drive wind tunnel and tempo uprights. So usually when I'm putting on a belt, I'll stretch it out a little bit. I don't have the old belt here to show you, but typically, you know, part of the reason why a lot of people burn through a belt is because it stretches with time. It just loses elasticity. It'll be significantly larger when you take it off the machine than when you put the new one on. So a lot of times people think that the belt is the wrong one. It's not. It's supposed to be tight. It's just that, you know, it needs that tension in order to get the friction to grab. So, all right, let's go ahead and clean this out real quick. again, the customer has declined a service, so the brush roll spinning free. I'm not going to go in and mess around with the bearings, you know, just because, yeah, just because we don't need to, because it's spinning like a champ. So, all right. So when you put a belt on a machine, best thing to do is loop it over the motor shaft down here in the housing first, like you can see there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put the brush roll through, making sure that the belt is centered on the bevel in the brush roll that it's designed for. And then we're going to firmly grasp on both sides and just kind of gently roll it down and into place. On the Hoover wind tunnels,